Look at that light. Man. It is exceedingly challenging for me at least. I can imagine that this is the same for many other people as well. It can be exceedingly challenging to not want to control the future. It's really fascinating. I've learned dynamics of control for specific reasons much earlier on in life. And I control to feel a sense of safety. It's not healthy, but it is what it is. And this is something that I have placed on the future as well. It's like I have to control people and things. It has to be a very specific way. If it's going to be manifested, it has to make sense. It has to be a very specific way. And that is an obstacle in regards to manifestation. Because sometimes things just look weird in life. You put this in, right? And then it, like, you would like to see it just go like that and then come out on the other side. But instead, it starts here, and then it's like, and then you know, it's like, it's wild. Control, safety. Control does not equal safety, but from a standpoint of unhealthy and dysfunctional dynamics, it feels very safe. It does. I'm really doing the best that I can to surrender to what is and to just trust, right? Because that is the exact opposite of what I've previously done. It is. It's the exact opposite. And it's actually challenging to allow that surrender, specifically because the ego, spiritually speaking, the ego, it's kind of like, what are you doing? I've got this under control. And I'm like, no, you don't. And then resistance from the ego is created. You know, it's funny because all of this time, well, not all of this time, but many times in videos, I from what I think and what I remember at least, I've talked about the ego. Now I'm differentiating between the ego in spirituality and the ego in, say, Freudian psychology, specifically looking at the, I guess you could call it, model of, like, id, I'll do it right here, id, ego, and superego. That is just a matter of a person's development, right? Ego in regards to spirituality is more so a matter of, like, the ego is like a godlike entity, right? And in other words, a person is a slave to their ego. This light is interesting. Man, the way that it, like, tattoo. Oh man, that's interesting. But yeah, I'm really doing the best that I can to just, like, surrender to the now, to the present moment, be as present as possible. The most magic I've ever experienced in my life has been a result of being present to the moment, which it can be very challenging. There are many blockages, right? There are many blockages to being present in the moment, and that is the regretful past and the fearful future, right? They really take our awareness. I'll speak from my own standpoint, my own experiences. They really take my awareness away from the now. And it's just incessant worry. It is. So as I say this, and as I say that I'm really doing the best that I can to surrender to the now and to let go of trying to control the future, all the while planning accordingly, it's very challenging. It's especially challenging when you've learned that safety equates to control. Not to say that that's actually true, but that is a dynamic that I have learned in life. It's wild. It really is. So what does it feel like for me to surrender to the now and to let go of control of outcomes of the future? Honestly, it feels like I'm spiraling and I'm just trying to hold on to something. It's like, oh, there you, oh my God, you went away. Oh, there you are again. Oh, I lost you again. It's just like a constant, like, it's like trying to run this way in wind that is going that way, you know? Which is wild in and of itself, because usually something like that would somewhat communicate to somebody that what they're doing is fucking wrong. Well, not to say wrong, it's not a matter of right or wrong or good or bad. Counterproductive, right? Right? Things that are counterproductive. When I try to let go of control of the future, right? There's something inside of me, and this is probably the conditioned ego, that has been led to believe that, no, you need to control, because if you don't control, you're not going to get safety, right? Although it is very superficial safety, if it is even anything remotely close to being safety. But, yeah. If the answer is the present moment, because the present moment is always magical, depending, of course, on how present a person can really be. I would argue that there are different levels of a capacity to be present, right? And maybe we could model it this way. Most presence divided between thought and the present moment. Unconsciousness, autopilot, right? So it's like, if you can just let go and surrender all of that, while it is familiar, this has a lot to do with familiarity, family of origin, which is something that I've talked about, right? If you can just surrender to the present moment, you can plan for the future in the present moment, presently. You can. It's awesome. You can actually, it's wild to think that you can presently and consciously plan in the present moment for the future. It's wild. That's probably because you're not being sucked into the future, right? You're like, all right, I'm looking at the future and I'm planning for it, but I'm being present. The cool thing about that is that because there's so much magic in the present moment as a result of the unknown, I would argue that it's far likely for incredible fucking ideas to flow through you that you can write down for what it is that you want to create, manifest, and experience. That's wild.